Hello everyone, I'm Dana. Welcome to our 5th sketch party. Before we even get started, I want to take a minute and just thank you for supporting me and your comments, your warm welcomes, your atta girls, like all of that. It just warms my heart. It makes me feel so good about where I've been, where I'm headed. And I just want to take a minute and say, please keep it coming. The advice, the comments, the hints, the tips, like I'm in for all of it. I so appreciate all of you just taking a minute out of your day to try and help or just offer some warmth, some hellos. I so appreciate that. This is my 5th one and I'm still learning. I feel like every day I'm learning something new with whether it be crafting or back office. Forgive me. For those of you that are just tuning in, I was a close to my heart consultant for 25 years. And recently they closed and we took a side step to the right and joined Stampin' Up. They actually have been amazingly warm and wonderful to us and for us. I so appreciate everything that they've done. But it's all new. And it is quite the journey, restarting after 25 years. Truly, like it's, everything's new, every single piece. And so I wanted to also mention that, like, this isn't all I do is simple cards, but I thought right now, since I'm just learning, honestly, the stamps, the inks, the pads are different, the stamps are different, even the dies cut differently, you guys. So while I'm still learning, it's just so helpful for me to just do things that I enjoy, that are quick and easy and simple. And I can still be in front of you guys and share a little bit, and you can help me a little bit. And we can kind of move on this journey together. I hope over time, come September, I also do scrapbooking and I share that too. But right now we only really have scrapbooking products from close to my heart. Stampin' Up! They're coming. We know they're coming. Come September, we will have Stampin' Up! Scrapbooking supplies. We're trying to do it with what they already have, but it's hard. It's hard not having a lot of more 12 by 12 paper, and we know it's coming. I promise. We know. They've told us they want us to be successful and they want to help us out. But anyway, I do also scrapbook. But for right now, I'm just focusing on some simple cards to just learn, honestly, to learn how to do this with you, to learn the machines, to learn all the things. So without taking too much more time, let's get started. Ready, set, go. Here is our sweet little project this week. Isn't that so fun? Love the grading of colors. Love these spotlight circles. They are absolutely my favorite. And then we've got some white to lift the center up a little bit, right? And then look, we can mimic with the rest of that paper, the 6x6, we can actually mount it on the inside and mimic that right side. Love, all those things. So let's get started. I did a little bit of the work and I think we're going to try and do it in a different color, but I thought it would just be fun to have a little birthday blooms card. So let me show you real quick the things I'm using, just in case you are new to Stampin' Up! Like I am. This is the Spotlight on Nature dies. It's got all these really cool circles. And I mean, these packages of dies are so much bigger than we're used to. Literally, we once had a package in close to my heart with 4 circle dies. No joke, 4 circle dies. And they were plain. We've never had anything with all of this design. Oh, it makes my heart so happy. I can't. They're one of my favorite ones so far. And I found there's a couple other that have squares and chevron. So many fun things to choose from. And then we've got this textured floral, which again is new to me. I don't think it's new to the Stampin' Up! World, but it's new to me and I love. I love a good solid flower set. Like I need another flower set. I don't, but this one called to me. I love the shading. Love that there's like 3 or 4 different centers in here. It's got some really pretty fonts. I love when they do cursive with a straight print, right? I don't even have my magnet sheet in here yet. I'm out. I did not buy enough off of Amazon, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just getting a 5x7 magnet sheet to put these on. It'll be so much easier. I hope I'm doing it right for you guys that are Stampin' Up! Gurus. I hope that I stuck it on the inside. Look, I stuck it on the box, and then I put the harder of the 2 sheets on top of it. Is that kind of what you do? Tell me in the comments, please, or leave me a comment. Tell me what you normally do if you do something different. Love that these are textured. They actually have, obviously, why the name, but love that. Just a really fun set. So anyway, we're going to use this for the birthday blooms and for the flowers. And then I'd love to tell you where this foliage is from, but I think I've forgotten, unless it's in here in the die. Oh yeah, it is. Look at me go. Look at me go, as if I knew that was where it came from. There's so much great foliage in Stampin' Up! Like, I know that's an odd sentence, but again, we never had standalone dies that weren't just cut out the image. Does that make sense? Like we would have the flower die that cut these pieces out, but we never had anything outside of that. So these, like things like this, standalone dies with a stamp set is just killer. Like we've just never had that. It's so cool. So you get pieces that coordinate with, but not necessarily just cut out the image. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's see. Where should we start? Why don't we do the embossing first? I had an extra, I'll show you my thought process. I had this one first. This is the largest of the spotlights. And then I kind of put it on the card and went, it's too big. The proportion's not quite right. So I did the middle, the one that has the dots and the lines. I should cut the center out. That would be fun. Oh, why don't we do that? Okay, I've got one all ready to go, but we'll cut the center out just for fun because we can. Let me get my little bit of tape. I'm learning, you guys. I even know the sandwiches better. You'll be so proud of me. You were helping me last time when we were doing and I was not doing it right. One of you informed me I wasn't doing it right, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. But okay, we're gonna cut that out. One thing I did notice so far about the cut and emboss plates is that they are very malleable, meaning that they warp really fast, because I think this plastic is a little bit softer, but let me give you my thoughts on that. We've had, and I've personally had, different machines that had different, sorry, I'm trying to think and do, I'm not very successful at that. We've had different machines that had different plates. I have an electric machine that I love, and I'd love to share that with you, but you can't get it because the company went out of business a long time ago, quite a few years ago. But the plates for that one are almost a 1/2 inch thick. Like, they're just different. We don't have these thin little plates, and while that makes them warp maybe sooner, I also think that it means that you don't have to shim. They bend enough that it actually meets up with that die and cuts so well. As you can see, I'm getting some good use out of the plates. So far, I've only used the bottom one, the first number 3. But honestly, I love it. I think it works really well. It rolls really smoothly. And I think all I'm noting to do is just move those plates around over and over and over and over. I move them from, and I mean not just this way, but I move it over, upside down. I turn it 180 degrees. Make sure you're rotating them constantly. And so my one plate was getting quite warped, and I was like, I need to fix that, and started moving it around, and it's flat again. Like, you can actually work them, at least until they get to the point where it's so scratched up and bent that you can't use it again. And I even think that there's ways, look at me go. How cute is that? I think there are ways you can actually even heat this, but also the cost isn't that bad. They're not priced inordinately. You can get, let me find my pokey tool. You can get new plates for it pretty inexpensively. So I guess it just depends on how much you use it. So good. But I did notice that's a big one. And actually one of you posted, I think last week, and said something about it. Had I noticed it? And at that point I really hadn't used it enough to notice it. But I have since then kind of paid more attention and went, yeah, I do actually think they're a little bit softer, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I haven't had to shim anything so far, and you guys will tell me your experience. Please do. Please tell me your experience with, would you shim with this machine? Have you had trouble? Do they how long do the plates last? You know, can you get like a year's worth out of them? Or am I going to be buying new ones in a couple of months? So far, so good. I have run all kinds of things. The only thing I've noticed that just is a bugger for me personally is that I'll show you because we're going to use this next week, I think. The embossing folders don't say 3D embossing folders. Like, for instance, I get confused easily because my brain went, oh, it's a big one. It must be a 3D. And it's not. And some of the small ones are 3D. So I just wish it was kind of in big, bold letters for my still learning brain. But other than that, the machine works well. I haven't had to shim it. I love the way it rolls. I'm really pleased with my purchase, is all I want to say. I like it. It works well. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to stamp. We need to stamp our flowers. Now I'm going to use this tonight. I'm so used to, you guys, I'm so used to stamping on a mat. We had mats that came with our stamp sets, the photopolymer stamp sets. So I'm so used to it. I know you guys told me that I don't have to have it. And I know that this is the Pokey Tool mat. I do get it, but this is what I have right now. And I'm going to use it. It makes my head happy. It makes me think, you know, when you've been doing something for 25 years, it makes me think I'm doing the right thing. Does that make sense? Like, I'm just not used to it yet. It's going to take me a while before I get to the point where maybe I try it without. Now, again, seasoning is the same way. I'm still rubbing it on my arms, you guys. And I know I said that in another video and you're like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, well, I don't quite know how to not do that. You know, when you are used to things being a certain way, it is just what you do. I know you guys understand that. Okay, I need some scrap. A little piece of white. I do love, I'll tell you what, I love that I put my stickers here. I love that because I can see it really clearly when I'm here. And of course, I don't have any of the names memorized, so I know nothing. But I love that I put my sticker here, and I love this sponge pad. I really do. I am pleasantly surprised because I literally was a close to my heart purist. I really didn't venture too much outside of my own little world. I know that's different for some people. You guys all are brave to try other products, but I really didn't, and that's okay. I think you do what you do, and but anyway, I really do like this. I like the sponge pad. It works so nicely. It stamps brilliantly. Love all of that, honest. They're a little hard to close. I'm learning to leave myself a little edge here, and I'll put that because some of you are asking me about how did I like the pads. So I'm learning to leave just a little edge because then it's not so hard to pull. That's my shelf, because I even closed one once. Like I opened it all the way and shoved this over here, and then I couldn't remember which way to pull. And I was like, I don't know how these work. Oh man. So I just put my thumb on it. They are a little harder for sure. A lot of you had tried, you were mentioning that you had tried close to my heart ink pads, the magnetic ones, and you really like those. And I agree with you. I think I hope that maybe Stampin' Up! Will try them, because the cases are a really cool design. I would love to have the best of both worlds, honestly. I would love to have some scrapbooking products and Stampin' Up! And also some of those things that we just love there. I would love to see some of that come and we could all share, right? Okay, so I'm just cutting my flowers out. Again, I'm learning how to run those dies. And when I say they're different, I mean that they, sorry, I'm just moving it with me. They cut less. They cut a closer design than ours. Close to my heart dies had about a, I don't think it was a 1/4 inch, but it was at least an 1/8 of an inch. And yours is more like a 1/16, which is beautiful. I love it actually, but it's a little more challenging on some of them for me, being new, to line those up. So I love that. It's just taking some kind of getting used to, right? Just like when you try anything new, a new ink pad, a new any type of crafting supply, right? Just give me a hot minute, I'll get there. But I'm enjoying learning. I'm enjoying the just trying different things and the new machine, the new lots of stuff really. Okay, let's come back over here. How are we doing? All right, I think I can push this to the side for a minute. I think we've got our second one. I think, was it last week or the week before, someone asked, if you don't mind, someone asked a little bit about my journey, asked if I would share. You know, yes, I came from close to my heart. What did I do there? Like, did I, you know, I don't know, tell my story, if you will. And I'm a little uncomfortable doing that, but I thought I'll try. I always think, like, how could you possibly find that interesting? But I had 2 littles at the time, 25 years ago, and I think they were elementary school then. And remember, they were just in a magazine. The oh, I left my other trimmer upstairs, sorry. I don't know if I can talk about what I did and create at the same time. That might be a bit of a challenge. We will see. My big kids were little. I had worked part-time as a medical technologist, actually, at the time. And wanted to stop. I enjoy crafting. I was in crafting before that. But wanted to see, I don't know, I wanted to stop dipping in our home account, quite honestly. I spent probably too much money, and I was looking for a way to have a little bit of my own dollars, and my MadTech money kind of went into our family account. I just want to see where that color is in relationship to where I'm going to want that to be. I almost think I want to go this way. What do you guys think? Maybe a little bit of that. I kind of like that way. This way on the card. This is the whole thing you have to do is just kind of figure out which piece of it you want. So I think I want to cut this just a little bit, and then we'll go back to the other story. I think I want to do this, take a little bit off, and then turn it back around. And let's see what 4 inches, which is, I know the width of it, what that's going to look like. I think I'll like that. Look, what do you think? I think that's pretty. I think it's got this color in it, which I wanted. And then this is the other one. So Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon are my 2 colors. So, okay, let's do that. And then, okay, now we're going to trim it the other way. Do we want more green? You guys can tell me. Tell me in the comments. I know you will. You're so good and helpful. Okay, wait, or do we want more blue? Let's just split the difference. Let's literally split the difference. Okay, I know it needs to be 5 1/4. So let's get rid of a little bit of green and then a little bit of blue. Oh, more blue. More blue. Let's see where that puts it. Oh, that's good. I kind of like the, no, let's take off a little bit of blue and then we can decide. So I saw a magazine ad back when we used to read magazines, right? No joke. Back when we used to read magazines. And it had a Creative Memories ad in it, you know, those full page ads they used to take out. And it had a Close to My Heart. And I saw both of them, kind of looked at the details and went, you know what? I think Close to My Heart would be a better fit just because they had a broader product line at the time than Creative Memories did. Stampin' Up! Didn't have an ad, so I didn't see anything else. I didn't know anything else back then, right? We didn't have internet. We didn't have those where you could learn so much. Okay, we've got to start. While I'm doing this, I want to also cut this so that I can use it on the inside of the card to do what we did earlier. And then it looks like about 1/4 inch on the bottom, and we'll come really close. There we go. I love that so much. So much. Okay, so sent away. The kit at the time was, if I remember correctly, it was almost $200. And I was like, that's a lot of money. And I remember asking my husband, you know, what do you think? Like, I was painfully shy. And when I say painfully shy, I mean painfully shy. At the time, right? Very low self-esteem. All the great things that make you think you can't do much of anything, right? But I remember asking him, and, you know, what do you think? Do you think I could do this? And he was so gracious about it. He was like, you know, I think you should just give it a try, you know, see what you think. And I was like, okay. And then, you know, after I said it, I kind of had to commit. His big question was, you know, you get this stuff in a kit. And I said, yeah. And he said, do you get to keep the kit? And I said, yeah, I think you do. I think you get to keep the products. And he's like, well, then I think you should try it. And I was like, okay, now I have to actually really do it, right? Now I have to do the things. But so I sent away for the kit. It came with a VHS tape. Is that crazy? It literally came with a VHS tape, and it didn't have, okay, now I need to pay attention just for a hot minute and make sure that I stamp this in the right place. We're going to go kind of centered up on the upper left. It came with a VHS tape and just showed you how to make a few cards, and they put it on a science fair board. Isn't that crazy? They literally showed that in the video, to make like a science fair-ish board and put all your cards and your scrapbook page if you scrapbooked. But back in the time, it really was more card making. And so I made cards. I literally copied the cards that they made and put it on a board because that's what I thought you should do. And off I go. And I didn't know who to ask to have a party. Like, I had no idea how to do any of that. You know what? This is probably a nice contrast for you guys to see. I'm just looking for I'll just use this. Okay. I was looking, anyway, sorry. Again, brain fart. I can't do two things at one time. Maybe I'll have to stop talking for a minute so I can actually do the card. Sorry. I hope you're not taking me too seriously. Anyway, I didn't know who to ask. I literally did not know who to ask. I was so afraid of offending someone or just thinking that they wouldn't want to do it, right? All these fears that come up in your head where you just go, oh no, I can't possibly ask anyone. What if they say no? And so, but I knew I just followed the instruction. I'm not even joking. I truly just followed what the video said. And it said just to ask your friends and family. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. And I didn't have any family that was close. A good portion of my family's out of state, so I didn't have anyone to ask. So I asked my neighbor, the one neighbor across the street. We still laugh about that party because I'm sure I just suck so bad. There's no doubt in my mind. I have apologized like 50 times. I'm like, Jackie, I'm so sorry. And she just laughs. It was fine. It was good. but I literally did what it said to do in the video, which was ask if anyone else wanted to have a party. And guess what? They did. I mean, crazily, I don't even know how, but I tried to be brave and ask for, right, if anybody else wanted to have one. And it was kind of the beginning. I don't think I knew it at the time, but it was kind of the beginning of how my next 17 years were going to go. I just tried stuff, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. But I did on average 6 to 7 parties, if you will, right? Where you take a project, you create the project, you take the project, and you go to somebody else's house you don't know, and you do it with them, right? You play with paper, basically. And it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed meeting people, it turns out, and it helped me become a little bit braver. It helped me begin the process of seeing that I could do some things that I was scared about. And learn paper play too, right? I learned how to do some cool, I mean, you had to invent yourself back then. The catalog was giant, right? And they only came out with one a year. There were no minis. There was nothing like that. Like, you literally had to go, I subscribed, I think, to every magazine there was, because I just didn't know what else to do to find more ideas. You know, it was fun, but you really had to think back then. You couldn't just, it wasn't as easy as it is today. Today, I mean, even Stampin' Up! Is even a tiny bit. You guys have kits. I mean, shnikes, that's awesome. You have projects that just require next to no prep, little effort. So much fun. I love them. But back in the day, I mean, you had one big Bertha catalog, and you really had to invent the cards you were taking and some samples and all that good stuff. But it was all good for me, right? I learned a ton. I learned how to stamp. I learned how to play with paper and trimmers and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, you guys, I think we will stop there and we'll continue our story next week, if I haven't caused you too much pain this week in terms of chattering on. Oh, it looks like it needs a little bit of sparkle. Now, for right now, I'm using up some of my close to my heart. I'm spending my money in Stampin' Up! On other things, because you guys have so much cool stuff that I'm kind of going to use my bling that I have. Okay, let's look at it. I love them. Oh my gosh, aren't these going to be so fun to send to someone? Love those colors so much. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.